Hi. So, yes, this weekend I was talking to a friend of mine and her children who were raised part of the time in Nigeria, and we were talking about some school and stuff like that. Normal things you talk about with teenagers. Then got on the topic of dating. So I was first talking with this teenager and in the family, and I asked her if she was dating. She said, "No, I'm not dating. I'm not going to date until after I'm done with school." So we talked about that, and I asked her why, and she said, "Well, partially it was religious, and partially it was cultural." And so I was talking to her about the difference between the Nigerian culture and culture here in America, where it seems to be a very common thing to sell the idea of dating. And in fact, a lot of young people in America seem to feel like there's something wrong with them if they haven't started dating by a certain age, or they feel that there's something wrong with them if they can't get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And that actually causes a lot of problems. People can suffer a lot. I didn't talk about it, but also related to that would be if you don't have sex by a certain age, there can be some peer pressure or embarrassment. You might lie about it. You might engage in it just so that you can be cool, I guess. But ultimately, the attitude in the U.S. is so programmed to believe that while you're a teenager, it's a good idea to start dating, and people seem to feel like if they can't get a date, if they can't get a boyfriend or girlfriend, something wrong with that. And so I asked her, I said, in Nigeria, was it like that? And she said, no. In Nigeria, you just talk about getting married, and you generally don't date at all, unless you're planning to get married. And I asked, well, do they do arranged marriages? And I was also talking to her elder sister who's just finished university. And they both said basically, unless you're planning to date, to marry, the only other option would be to kind of like chaperoned, except it would be the person that you're interested in would come to your house and there would be somebody present to monitor your activities. So dating is not at all a thing there. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I did have a couple of girlfriends, 3 girlfriends in high school. And before I had my first girlfriend, I did kind of feel like, well, what's wrong with me? I was not a confident person, though. And that may have played into it as well. But I would like to point out the fact that you don't have to date young. And if you feel like, oh, I haven't had a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever in high school, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. You shouldn't feel bad about that. It's okay. I mean, you don't have to date. You don't have to have sex. It's okay. And if somebody says that that's not okay, well, then they're a fool, and you shouldn't listen to them. There's nothing wrong with waiting. One of the things that I've never understood, and I think is one of the foolish things about both American and European culture, is this tendency when you go to a concert and the people are in love with these performers and they're going all goo goo gaga over them and they're screaming and yelling and they'll faint and they'll throw their underwear at them and all kinds of crazy stuff. And to me, that's just not healthy. And I would encourage you to use your brains instead of being all swept up in all this romance stuff, especially at a young age. I mean, you're very vulnerable when you're in your teenage years. You're very at risk in many different ways. So I would just encourage you to think twice and wait. So anyways, that's my thoughts for today. Thanks and have a good day.